Hey guys, my name is Pam Saxman and I'm operations manager over at Call Group Residential, brokered by eXp Realty. So I kind of, guess, have a reputation around here. I'm the corporate person that got into real estate. So my past life, I was in pharmaceutical sales for about 20 years. And about half of that time, over 10 years, was in pharmaceutical sales management. So I managed some large teams around the East Coast, everywhere from really Connecticut down to Florida. And, the corporate structure was really great to me. It taught me some awesome basic business fundamentals so that when I left that world to build something for myself in real estate, I tried to implement a lot of the things that I had learned that had made all these corporations millions of money, millions of dollars. And so it's some basic things, right, that we can all do, no matter if we're this huge corporation or if we're working as individual agents. So there's really top 5 business practices that I want to share with you in order to get started on the right foot. Or maybe you have an established real estate business. These may be some tips on how you take it up to the next level, right? So, number one for me, and probably the most important one, honestly, is setting some goals. So, I met with a top agent this past week, and she told me, I don't really set goals because I'm afraid I'm not going to hit them. And I think, at first I was like, wow, but she's probably more in the majority than everybody else. And when I first joined Tina Call, that was one of the first things we did, right? You have to know where you are before you can figure out where you're going. So we did a great business evaluation of where all the business came from, where it currently stood, and then we could determine if we were to grow or add some agents, add some more structure, some more lead sources, what potential could the business have? So that we were not only just pulling a number out of thin air, we were basing it around some fundamentals of what the business was already doing. And then it was kind of easier to determine what our goals would be. But as a true Tina fashion, she always pushes me to think bigger. So I may have a goal, and then we always set a stretch goal beyond that too, as well. So the goal is just my minimum standard of where I felt like I may be able to have some job security. But stretch goal is always where we go. So have a goal in mind and let it be big. Dream big. Yeah, large and in charge, right? Do some vision boards. Where do you really want your business to go? But also have it set in a little bit of reality. Also understand that you want some time specific, some boundaries there too. It's the old fashioned SMART goals, right? They have to be specific. You have to have some accountability on it and have to be time bound in order for them to make sense. But don't not make goals. Make them and then hold yourself accountable to them. It feels great when you track them and you know that you're pacing towards that goal. That's the other thing. If you set goals, set a larger one, but chunk it into smaller bite-sized pieces so that you know if you're tracking there. So this year, our goal is 350 transactions, or helping 350 families buy or sell a home this year. So I know what I need to have accomplished midway through the year, about 175. And then we just had our mid-year mark. So I wanted to see how close we are to hitting our goals. At the time, June 30th, we're about 96% to our goal. So we're a little bit off, right? And we had COVID happen. Not that that's an excuse, but it helped me to determine that we needed to double down a little bit so we didn't miss that mark. So set some goals and track them. Number 2, and you guys have probably heard me talk about this till I'm blue in the face, and there's a separate video on this too, is time blocking. You have got to learn a way to schedule your day to where you get all of your activities done. It's really for your sanity. It's for your work-life balance. So go watch that video. That's probably the best one. Block your day to where you're never negotiating your money-making time. And that is your time where you're reaching out to clients, past, present, hopefully in the future. You're building your business, building your client pipeline, right? So time block, so you get all that done. Push all that admin stuff to the afternoon. Promise you, it'll work. Number 3, know your numbers. So we're a call heavy team here. So we have our agents call for sell by owners, expired, circle prospecting, past clients, sphere. We are very intentional with our time blocks of the day so that we are lead genning. But you have to know what your numbers are. How many dials, how many connections, how many appointments. So you can figure out kind of what your conversion rates are. And you can also help determine if you're not meeting your goal, if it's skill or will. And there's a video on that too. So skill is, do we need to find some additional training? Maybe you're doing all the work, you're just not converting at a high level. That's frustrating. So if that's the case, let's identify it so we can get you the training that you need. If it is will, maybe you've got all the skill, then the planet can hold, but you need to do a little bit more activities. That's important to know as well. Because if you're missing your goals, that's something we can push you on a little bit, although you have to create your own motivation, but it can get you closer to your goals too. So know your numbers, track them, figure out what your conversion rates are. You should know how many phone calls you need to make in order to make an appointment. That gets you to those goals. All right, business practice number 4, accountability. We've got a whole nother video on this too. So left to our own devices, we just don't do the work commonly. I hate to say it, but I think that's why we were born with mamas, so they could kind of make us do all that ugly stuff. The stuff we have to do, the stuff we need to do, but we don't want to do it. Without some type of accountability around you as a real estate agent, that will probably be one of your downfalls. So find a team, find an accountability group, find a mentor, find a coach, or just find a person that cares enough about you to check in with you to make sure that you're doing all the activities that are important in order for you to be successful. It comes from a place of love. It's truly not to be mean. It's so that you meet your goals because we love you. All right. So my number 5 is develop a business plan. So this was one that Tina and Kevin and I have spent a lot of time on over the last couple of years of, again, evaluating where we are with the business and where we want to go. And then the business plan helps you develop the strategic plan to get there. So I'm talking about a SWOT analysis. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And then what are the opportunities and the threats? Opportunities and threats are external. So maybe like the real estate market, maybe you're fearful of a crash. An opportunity right now would be the interest rates. I don't have control over those, but they certainly play an impact on my business. Where am I going to spend money in marketing, or am I? Or is maybe my activities, maybe that's my currency? So plan all of that out. Do a little simple profit and loss sheet, just Excel. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but know how much money you're making and know how much money you're spending. I'm always shocked at the end of the year of how many agents, once they do the work and they realize that they're operating in the red because they weren't monitoring that as they go. So put together a really great plan. You want goals, but you want a plan to help you get there. So spend some time. Look at what you're doing now. If you want to grow your business, how are you going to grow it? Are you going to make more phone calls? Are you going to do some different lead gen? Or now you're going to put extra emphasis on open houses? All of that is great. All of it can work. But what's the additional plan there? How many open houses am I going to do? And then am I going to track it to make sure that I'm getting a return on that investment? Those are just some basic business fundamentals that I think could make everybody's business grow a little bit further. So again, to recap, number 1, set some goals. Set some big goals too. Don't just settle on something that's a little bit growth. No. Set them big. Number 2, time block. Do not let your business run you, run your business. And that's the way to do it, is really time blocking. Number 3, know your numbers. You want a duplicatable business, right? You want to know what activities are going to generate business. So know your numbers. Number 4, get some accountability. I promise you need it. Even top agents, top producers have some accountability around them typically, unless you're incredibly driven and incredibly disciplined. Most people just are not. Number 5, develop a business plan. Don't make it overly complicated. It doesn't need to be. but just know that you have to march together with a strategic plan in order to really get the results that you want. So I hope that helps everybody. If you want to dork out and talk about any of these in greater detail, my number is 919-349-2220, or you can always reach out at pam@callteam.com. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks.